Hello, welcome. I'm Kristen. You are in the good, and welcome to this career path reading where we just have a divine conversation, get some insights. What do we need to know? What's coming to light? What lies beneath? What's the path forward? What's some advice? What validates us and our intuition? All right, it's happening already. Okay, the Thunderbolt. So this is like very much like a tower card in the tarot type energy. So something has just happened in the recent past. So this is what's sort of happening in your life, right? Unexpected things, like you're trying to get things done, you're trying to move forward, you've got everything set up, you think you're ready to go, and then boom, just like that, the Thunderbolt. And it can feel like everything is sort of like coming down. You can feel like you are being shoved out somehow. Like you're being made to feel insignificant. You're not insignificant, but you can't knock everything over. Like you're being made to feel insignificant. You may feel like someone's trying to encroach upon you, like someone's trying to sneak up on you and kind of cause a little bit of mischief. Some unexpected things going on that kind of knock you out of your orbit. And I think in some cases, it's not as bad as you think it is, right? It's just something that's knocking you out of your orbit so that you can see something else, something new, a new perspective. Or perhaps this is a big red warning flag for some of you. It's time to change. It's time to prepare in a different way. How you're preparing isn't making you as ready as it used to. You can feel very disoriented very easily. Perhaps in the past you would do things a certain way and everybody thought it was just great. They really followed your structure. What I'm feeling here is that perhaps you're working with a new group of people, you're on a new project, perhaps you've been promoted even, and the people under you, they don't quite get what you're doing. And you're implementing this thing that always used to work and now it's not anymore because this group of people isn't jiving with it. They're not attuning with it. Are you going to continue to fit the round circle into the square peg? Or is it time to just let it go? Like, why cause this kind of trouble in your life? Why perpetuate something like this when life is going to bring us to this place on its own? The nature of life and the movement of cycles in our lives is often, we're not going to grow, we're not going to evolve and change often unless we're pushed sometimes. Often things will get overwhelming, disoriented. We'll feel like everything is falling apart. And then that is sort of the catalyst for a very deep and profound change. I'm also picking up here that people could be jumping ship. People could be leaving, people that maybe you've worked with these people for a decade, 20 years, a number of years at least, and you thought like they're your people. This is a family-like atmosphere where we're a real team, and you've got at least one person, if not several people, that you feel are jumping ship or leaving, or that maybe they perhaps committed to you or signed some sort of agreements and they're breaking those agreements or they're breaking those handshake deals about what they said they were going to do or how long they said they were going to stay because they somehow feel they have a better opportunity elsewhere. And as opposed to being real about it and being honest about it, they're like sneaking off. Somebody out there, has been very manipulative and they've made a real career move for themselves by completely screwing you, the company that you work for, the project that you're on over. Like someone gave documents to somebody else, or someone gave ingredients, an ingredient deck, or a design, or some sort of very specific branded thing to another company, and then they jump on board the other company kind of thing. And it's basically blowing up the entire work environment. So everything is sort of it's becoming rubble. And other people are getting discouraged. Morale can be very low. But there is, with lightning, I always just feel with lightning, It can re-energize things, and perhaps people are doing that way and they're complete jerks and creeps and manipulative and liars, and they have zero loyalty. Like, you don't want them around anyway. And so it's like a deep purge. And you'll see that there's a calm in this storm, right? There can be the most peaceful place. You can find peace within, that eye of the storm. By taking a deep breath, by not being so disoriented when things just happen, by just accepting them and accepting that you have to be in flow with what is, because it really is let go or be dragged. It feels like these are wings to me. These thunderbolts look like there's a pattern of wings here. So there's this sense of really being that phoenix that rises from the ashes. So I think what's important is to not allow yourself to sit on the rubble for too long, to acknowledge how you're feeling: angry, depressed, anxious, there's grief, there's betrayal. But to also recognize that you have the ability to rise above it as well. That you don't need any of these other people. You are enough, and what you have created is enough. It doesn't need to be backed up. All right, let's grab tarot. I hope that you will give me a thumbs up if you are resonating. Please let me know what you're resonating with in the comments below. Help and support each other in the comments below. Just share. And if you're feeling called, I would love to have you a part of this community. All right. That was intense. All the messages have been intense lately. And it just kind of goes to show we're collectively, I think we're at this point of really wanting to change, and we're being squeezed a little bit here. There's always, like, you're not squeezed forever. You always kind of come out, right? You kind of shoot out the birth canal eventually, and you're reborn. So with the moon, I want to get a card on the moon. This can be these secrets coming to light that are very important, that are very emotional. It's like with this howling at the moon, this is you no longer silencing yourself. This is not trying to appease anybody or anything anymore. This is speaking up and speaking out. This is saying how you feel about what's being done to you, what's being done to your team, what's being done to the people that you consider your friends, your family. For some of you, you've worked where you've worked a long time, and it's a deep part of who you are. But you must remember that as important as community is, and it is the most important thing, and we forget this in our Western culture here, that you also are a sovereign being. And as much as you care about people, they care about you. But you're not standing for this anymore. There's a dog here, which always is a symbol for me. One of the things, the dog, is the loyalty. And so you may feel alone, but you are not. As you speak up and out, as you reclaim your own personal voice, as you decide, I'm just going to go for it because I don't want to sit here and take this anymore. Somebody needs to know. You are not alone. And you might even be surprised at where the loyalty is coming from. It may come from somebody who you think is higher up who won't understand. But you do have backup. And with the crab, it is, you've been kept, crabs, right? The way they move, they're a little like, But you're coming up and out of being in just your emotions about this. Or let me put it this way, you haven't wanted to be seen as over emotional, so you've been sort of hiding underneath the water, right? Let me just dive back in here and dive under this cold, dark, thing here. I'll be okay. This is coming up. This is bringing your emotions to a stable and grounded place and walking them on land. Because you can express your emotions. You can express how you feel in an intelligent, grounded, thoughtful, mindful way that is direct and has that healthy kind of aggression, right? That healthy kind of aggression that is important in standing up for yourself, your rights, and for the rights of those who are under your stead, so to speak. And you're not alone in it. Two of Wands. This is another one that has come up in a lot of the readings this week and last week. So this is the power move, the power choice. This is always reminding you of the power of choice that you have. I'm noticing this to me looks like red roses on the staff here. I'm not sure what that is. What do you think that is? Put it in the comments below. But from a distance, it feels like some sort of flower or herb. To me, that feels like putting the flowers on the gravestone right there. As you walk away from this, and this feels very active, this card to me this week in this reading feels very active. I feel this movement. I feel like I see this person as walking away and walking towards, but paying homage to what was. That you can't have this new opportunity with everything else that came before it. And to give homage to it, it's not the same as staying with something just out of loyalties, right? You don't want to like stay here out of loyalties, or I work with these other people and they need me, or they expect this of me, or they're going to feel betrayed. Perhaps this is somebody feeling betrayed because you feel that you really need to walk away because this situation is completely falling apart. That you don't want to be in this situation, that this is what you deal with every single day, or every situation becomes this. You are sitting in the eye of that storm. You are flying up and out and elevating. You're not spiraling back down into the loop, to the same story, into the same thing where everything crashes to the ground and you got to start back up again. And this could be somebody who just doesn't have their emotions in control, like somebody who's in leadership or perhaps in partnership with you, equal status or even slightly above you, that just cannot keep their emotions out of it. And they justify it by saying it's about logistics and analytics and structure, when it's really not. It's just them being over emotional for some reason. And in this card, you're not holding this globe yet, this sphere, which feels like the earth, the world, like, this is the whole world in your hand, like the old commercial way back then. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you just Google got the whole world in your hand, you'll see it. In this case, you don't have the whole world in your hands, but it's right there. There's a lot of different things you can do. And I feel like you've decided, you've actually, because you're holding something, you've decided what you want, and you may not have everything around it planned yet, or exactly how you're going to get it, or exactly how you're going to move into it, or if you are already moving into it, how it's going to turn out. But it's like you've put this to rest, and you've made a choice, whether you have acknowledged it yet or not. It could be a choice you've made deep in your heart of hearts, in your gut. You know what you know. And it's time to be very real with yourself and not put yourself in an emotional situation. All right, one last bit. Wheel of Fortune. So this is another one that's come out if you want to check some of the other readings out from last week. So this is a cycle, and I'm saying this because these have come up in multiple readings last week and this week on Career and Love, that there is a closing out of a major cycle. Now, on this November 17th, 2024 time, we do have Pluto moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius. That is an official ending of an era. That is the end of a 20-year cycle of Capricorn in Pluto. Now, Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for the next 20 years. And I don't always get into astrology in these readings, but I feel like it's very loud and it needs to be acknowledged that there's an actual cycle closing out. And you're welcome to look up what that means for you in your astrology. But what's important to know here is that something has come to an end. It's almost like you're not even in here anymore. Do you want to not close this out and kind of put yourself back into here? Because the glorious thing about going through this is that it can feel like shadow work, going deep within yourself, looking at the unacknowledged places, the places you haven't acknowledged, the places that you need to acknowledge first before anybody else can acknowledge them. Because if you have shame around something or doubts about something, or you don't value something, or you're living in some learned version of yourself, learned by family and whatever traumas they've been in, society, relationships. And this is coming home to, the natural self where, you howling at the moon. And you're not alone, yes, because you've got you. But coming from that place, you begin to attract people on an emotional plane that lifts up where you want to go. You're meeting people on that same journey with you where you can help each other, or people a little bit further along who are supporters, who aren't the kind of people that are like, yeah, I've done this work and I'm here. No, they're like, yeah, I've done this work, whatever. You're doing it. Let's all talk about it. Let's be friends. What can I do to support? What can I do to help get you here? What can I do to give you these skills so that you can have them and you can pass them on? And skills in this case being spiritual, emotional skills, but also work skills, right? We can take it into that realm. You want to be in a workplace where people are really happy to share because it's like the natural food chain of delegation, right? They're like, great, you're here to do this and I'm going to teach you this. And eventually I'll move up here and then you'll move up there and then someone will come here and you'll teach them. And it's a beautiful chain of learning and progress and meaning where everybody gets to take advantage and everybody gets to grow and everybody gets to have abundance. So just looking at the bottom of the deck, and it's the musician. Some of you are musicians. Some of you are wanting to use more of, this is also lyric and language. Some of you really want to do more public speaking. You want to do more presenting. Some of you are teachers that want to bring more music into the classroom, or you're educators in some sort that want to use more music. But this is coming out of hiding, coming out of the darkness here. This is like you weren't afraid to be, it's not the magician that's sort of like, this is the magician that kind of like went into the cave to learn their skills. This is like you were bear who went into cave to hibernate for the winter, to refresh, to revive, to dream, imagine your new self into existence. So we are here. We made it through. This is Nico. I'm Kristen. We are in the good. Please again please subscribe. Please again comment down below. I have several weekly readings. I do a weekly, I do career path, I do love and intimacy. We have meditations on the channel. So I hope that you will check those out and I will see you on the next one. Bye.